For first place, the committee selected Kensington and Recovery Spine and Seeds from students at Leeds Beckett University. They are Graham Davey, Joseph Earley, Jade and Michele Prendini. The jury felt this concept most cohesively addressed all the issues raised in the design brief. We also felt the emphasis on storytelling and modeling, including storytelling and the concept itself, is a strength of this concept. We found this proposal demonstrated an impressively strong understanding of the current neighborhood and corridor realities. They felt this team did a good job of building from these dynamics to flesh out their concept. For example, engaging people involved in scrapping activities in the neighborhood in more neighborhood-serving ways of repurposing materials and connecting this new activity with employment and skill building. In particular, we thought the circular economy and self-governing concepts from this team were creative, practical, and speak very much to the reality of a community that has historically experienced a lack of support and investment at the city level. This plan does a good job of showing possible paths to addressing neighborhood challenges with the resources at hand. We really appreciate the bottom-up approach.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you very much for having us here today. It's been a pleasure spending time in Philadelphia over the past couple of days, despite the best efforts of the weather. This year, the competition asked us to address the social problems that are currently destabilising the neighbourhood of Kensington. And our initial research showed us that Kensington's community is essentially split into two groups, those who are healthy and those who are not. These two groups exist alongside one another, but they do not interact in any way. And our proposal aims to reconcile this social divide. The key physical concept behind our proposal is to transform the existing high street of Kensington Avenue into a spine along which we can then plant the seeds of recovery. The seeds are made up of existing individuals, businesses and charity organisations, and they provide a series of common ground environments within which the two halves of the Kensington community will encounter one another on a daily basis. And we propose this daily interaction as the key starting point to begin healing the social schism. In order to bring the community together most effectively, our seeds must be planted at the borders between the different social groups within the neighbourhood. In other words, on ground that is common to all. To locate these key sites, we began mapping the neighbourhood's social functions, such as charity centres, civic assets, local schools, and of course the crime and drug hotspots. And this exercise generated a web within which we could locate potential sites on which to plant our seeds.
So we identified people who provide services for Kensington, but the majority of them don't have dedicated spaces within Kensington. We saw the opportunity to provide them with permanent spaces along our spine so that their services were more accessible to the community. We began reaching out to the organisations to help gain a better understanding of who they are and what they do. This communication allowed us to create an inventory of assets, the most important being the people that we engaged with. Most of these people have struggled with their own issues, but have now recovered and are already providing services within Kensington that are having a positive impact on the community. This table represents the seeds that we identified as the catalyst for growth along the spine. For example, we spoke with a man called Frank. He's a recovered addict who spent over 20 years as a homeless person on Kensington Avenue. He had quite a long stint in prison, and following his release he opened a barber shop. He offers free haircuts to the homeless, and he sets up a stall on the pavement on Saturday mornings. So we saw this as an opportunity to provide him with a permanent space for which he can operate and share his skills with others.
Once we'd identified what we felt were the assets of Kensington, mainly some of the things we talked about earlier, things like abandoned buildings, a culture of thrift, sort of kind of scrapyards, reusable of electrical goods, etc. Mainly the people and some of the activity that was happening. We looked at a way to tie these together. Being a place of industrial past, we wanted to bring some of this in and kind of disseminate some of the skills that we used in the past as well. So we took a lot of this waste and we looked to reuse it in a different way. teaching the industrial skills to some of the current residents there, to use the waste to form spaces that we could use as a permanent home for some of the activity that's already happening. This space here would be the kind of key central point of that, whereby all the waste goods would come in, the skills would be taught, and structures would be built that can then go onto the spine of Kensington that can then be used as other activities.
In this axonometric view, all the parts are finally working together. In it, we are showing MacPherson Square, heart of Kensington, crossing point for the students coming back from school, and many drug corners. In this fundamental getaway, we have praised Zora, an ex-homeless, now active member of LEAP, an organization whose aim is to share knowledge with workshops and lectures. We have so designed a storyteller shelter made up by recycled materials from the area as car parts. In this image, we can see our long-term proposition. The seeds are taking over the space as the circular economy grows. They are spreading around into smaller streets. The little spaces not used between the buildings and the abandoned buildings are now involved in different types of activities, all made up by recycled materials from local waste. To sum up, our proposal focuses on the individual, which develop a bottom-up system which encourages sustainable economy made from and from the community. Thanks for the hospitality and for the amazing occasion that you have given us.